Alice, where are you right now? It's already 7. Come home, it's getting late.
It's only 7! Stop messaging me about things like this.
Don't start this again. You're the one who always tells me to text you when it gets late. I don't know where you are or what you're doing. I'm worried. Hurry and come home.
Ugh, man, you're so annoying. I'm not coming home tonight. I'm going to stay at a friend's house tonight.
What? I didn't hear anything about this.
That's because I didn't tell you. The two of us are going to an amusement park tomorrow. So it's better to stay there and go in the morning together.
Tomorrow? You can't go tomorrow. Tomorrow is the anniversary of your mom's death. We have to go to the cemetery.
I'm gonna have to give it a miss. You can go on your own.
What? You're not coming? But we go together every year.
Well, this year, I'm not going.
Don't say something like that. It's your mom. You have to go.
No, it's fine. I promised my friend ages ago. I'm not gonna turn her down now the day before. Besides, rather than focusing on the past, I want to focus on my friends in the present.
I see. You're right that you should treat your friends well. Okay, fine. This year I'll go by myself.
Anyway, at my age, I don't want to be going anywhere with you. Stop inviting me everywhere. It's annoying.
Right. Okay. I won't invite you anywhere anymore.
Thanks.
But can you at least promise me one thing? If you're going to be coming home late or staying over at someone's, can you at least tell me beforehand?
Why should I do that?
Because otherwise I'll be worried. I'm your dad. Of course I worry about you if you don't come home.
My dad? We're not related. You're just my stepdad.
I know that. But I have still raised you as my own daughter. You're an important member of my family, even if we're not related by blood.
Gross. I don't want to hear things like that from you. It's embarrassing.
Oh, I'm sorry. But it's how I really feel.
Okay, well, you can think like that on your own. I don't care about you at all.
Don't say that. I made a promise to your mom before she passed that I would look after you. She was always worried about what would happen to you after she was gone.
I would have preferred to just end up on my own. I hate living with you when you're barely scraping by. I can't think of anything worse than living with some old man.
It's not like we're barely scraping by, though. Sure, we're not rich, but we're fine.
No, we're not! All of my parents' friends buy them things whenever they want. You only get me things on my birthday and Christmas.
But I give you an allowance to spend how you want, too.
That's nothing. $200 a month isn't enough to do anything.
What are you saying? $200 is a lot for someone your age. When I was your age, I only got $50 a month at best.
Things are different now. Everything costs more than it did back then. Plus, as a girl, I have to buy clothes and makeup as well. We need way more money than boys.
It's not like I'm giving you that amount for no reason. I asked people who have experience raising children. I decided on an amount that's not too high and not too low. If you think it's not enough, then that's because of the way you're spending it.
Listen, all I've gotten from you are bad childhood memories. And everyone looks at me and feels sorry that I'm not as lucky as they are. Do I really have to live like this all of the time? At least raise my allowance.
Okay, fine. I'll give you an extra $100 a month from now on.
That's not enough. I want 1,000.
That's way too much. I'll give you $300 a month. And that's already a good deal for you. If you want more money, then go get a part-time job.
What? You don't understand a single thing about me. You're such a stingy old man.
Alice, I got a weird letter today. It's addressed to you, but it doesn't say who it's from. Does that ring any bells?
Just throw it all away. It's probably just the girl whose boyfriend I stole writing to complain. Can you believe she would send letters to my house? What a creep. That's why she wasn't able to keep her boyfriend in the first place.
You stole someone's boyfriend? Was there some kind of trouble?
I'm talking about my fiancé. He had a girlfriend before he met me, but of course I won out.
Stop doing things like that. You're going to cause trouble for yourself. You don't want people to have grudges against you. It never ends well.
Ugh, stop trying to lecture me here. I'm already 25. I don't need your advice.
It's exactly because you're 25 that you need to stop doing things like this. Stop going out of your way to make enemies.
She's the one who's at fault in the first place. So she's the creep for holding anything against me. She should have been better if she wanted to keep her guy. Anyway, thanks to her being like that, I'm now going to get married. I'm going to have a good life with him, so I'm not scared of any enemies.
Something bad will happen one day.
Nothing has happened yet, so I'll risk it. I have good luck.
I see. Okay, then I won't say anything about it.
Yeah, don't. Your lectures are so annoying.
Sorry about that. By the way, have you chosen where you're going to hold the wedding?
I'm looking at a bunch of places right now. There's no way I want to compromise on my wedding day, so I'm looking at all of my options.
Hey Alice, I heard that you're looking for your biological father. You're not planning on inviting him to the wedding, are you?
What? Who did you hear that from? How do you know something like that?
So you really are looking for him?
Yeah? And so what? He is my real father after all. It's normal to want to meet him.
You should stop looking for him. I've told you many times before, but it's better not to get involved with him.
All you ever do is talk badly of my real dad. What's up with that? Stop doing that, will you? I'm looking for him because I want to meet him. I don't care what you say.
Why do you think your mom broke up with him in the first place? He's not a good guy, and you shouldn't get involved.
I've only heard Mom's side of the story. I don't actually know what happened between them when they were married. It doesn't make sense to put all the blame on the dad.
You must still remember a bit from when your mom first left him, though, right? She was completely haggard and burnt out. He was definitely the cause of that.
I don't believe everything that Mom said. I've still not gotten Dad's side of it. Maybe I would have been way happier if he'd gotten custody of me instead of Mom.
How could you even say that?
What, you think I've been happy until now? In the end, Mom died anyway, and then I was left with you to take care of me.
I told you that I have always thought of you and raised you as my own daughter. It doesn't matter that we're not related by blood.
I don't agree with that. It matters to me. If we're not related by blood, then you're just a complete stranger to me. Of course I would want to find my real dad. I want him to be there on my wedding day and see me in my dress.
I don't want you to feel regret about this. You'll probably be really disappointed when you actually meet him.
I know that you have something against him. That's why you keep talking badly about him. I get it, so just stop it already.
That's not true. I've told you countless times that I heard from your mom what kind of person he was.
But you never actually met him in person, have you? So how can you know if any of that is actually true? Other relatives have told me that he was a really good guy.
What? Who told you something like that?
It doesn't matter who told me. They also said that the real reason they divorced was unclear. And there are plenty of people who badmouth their ex after they break up. I bet Mom was one of those people. Dad is probably actually a really good person.
You can't trust the words of someone who doesn't know your dad that well. Maybe he seems nice on the surface, but you have to think about what his real personality might be like.
You also don't know anything about him. You've never met. So how am I supposed to trust anything you say about him? That's why I want to meet him myself and decide. I'm not a kid anymore. I don't have to listen to what you tell me to do. Just leave me alone.
Okay, fine. I won't be saying anything else. But remember that I warned you. Do what you want. Alice, I heard that you chose the wedding location. Have you also chosen the date?
Yeah, the date's all set. I also know when I'm moving out of here.
You're going to move in with your fiancé and his parents, right?
Yeah, we'll live there until we find a place of our own.
I guess the time for us to part has finally come. It'll be lonely here.
Yeah? I can't wait to get out of here. There will never be a reason for me to come back either.
Really? Do you really hate me that much?
It's all your fault that I couldn't be happy growing up. I don't care if you feel sad or lonely. Don't think that I share those feelings. I wish that my dad had been the one to take me instead of Mom.
You're still going on about that?
I say that because I met him. I found him.
Wait, what? You met your dad?
Yeah, and everything I heard from you and Mom was completely wrong.
What did you talk to him about?
Nothing in particular. Just how things have been and what's been going on in our lives.
I see. Was there anything else? Did he say or do anything to you?
What? Don't come at me asking things like that.
But I am still worried about you, even if you're now an adult.
I don't need you to worry about me. I'm fine without you. Oh, and by the way, I have some important information about the wedding. Turns out my real dad is the CEO of a company, and I'm going to invite him to walk me down the aisle. So, you're not allowed to come.
Wait, Alice! Don't get involved with that man. It's dangerous.
Again with these lies! I've had enough. I know that you were just making up lies about him so that I didn't go looking for him, but I won't fall for that anymore. I've actually met him now and know that he is actually a really nice person.
Are you seriously going to invite him to the wedding? Even though I was the one who raised you? You're going to just go over to him after everything?
If you had raised me better, I would have allowed you to come. But I feel nothing but resentment towards you. Because of you, I had nothing but memories of a miserable childhood.
Miserable? What are you talking about?
You never bought me all of the things I wanted. The allowance you gave me was never enough for anything either. If I had the chance to live with my dad, I know that never would have been a problem.
Don't you think you're raising the bar too much here? You act like you grew up poor, but we're entirely middle class. You need to get rid of that greedy attitude towards money. It's going to affect your marriage in the end.
Don't lecture me, you're nothing more than a stranger. And besides, my fiancé's family is rich. If anything, they think about money the exact same way I do. And my real dad is rich too. You're the only poor one in my life.
I raised you as my own daughter.
Well, I've never thought of you as my father. Look at me now. I'm marrying into a rich family and I have reunited with my wealthy father. This is exactly the life that I was always supposed to have. I was never supposed to live with a commoner like you.
Do you know how upset your mother would be to hear this?
I don't care. She was an idiot herself. She divorced her wealthy husband and married a commoner like you instead. It's probably because she was such an idiot that she developed a tumor and died so young. Or maybe it was because of her illness that she wasn't able to think clearly and made such poor decisions.
Don't talk that way about your mom. Whatever. I've had enough. I hope you don't regret this later. I won't think of you as my daughter from now on. That's what you want, isn't it?
There's no way I will regret this. Never message me again. Goodbye forever. Dad, help me! I can't take this anymore!
What do you want? Didn't you say to never contact you again?
Oh, just forget about that. You're the only person I can go to.
What are you on about? Even though I raised you your whole life, you didn't even let me come to your wedding. Then you dismissed me as some commoner who you never considered to be your dad?
I know I said that, but things didn't work out as I thought they would. Everything started turning sour.
Yeah, like what?
I'm talking about my real dad. At first, he was really kind, and I thought that he was a good person. But then he started to change.
Started to change? Be more clear. I'm busy and I don't have time to try and read between the lines of what you're saying.
He started to ask me for money, and then threatened me when I refused.
I see. That's why I told you to not get involved with him.
Why is he asking his daughter for money? He has his own business, so he should have plenty of money of his own.
You were tricked, obviously. How many times did I tell you that he wasn't a good person?
Tell me everything that you know about him. He seems really scary. He keeps following me around and demanding money. He even came into the house and started demanding money from my in-laws. Everyone is really fed up with his behavior.
And so what? Why come to me now?
You know about him. I want you to tell me what you know. Why did he and my mom actually divorce?
I told you before already.
I know, but I want you to tell me in more detail.
You said that nothing I say about him can be trusted, didn't you?
The situation was different back then. Stop beating around the bush and just tell me.
Man, you're unbelievable. Is that how you speak to someone that you come to ask a favor of? Especially considering the last things you said to me.
I'm sorry about that. I was riding a high at the time and said some cruel things to you. I apologize for it, so please just tell me.
I don't have any hard evidence for it, so I can't say it's 100% true. But your mother said that he is probably involved in some criminal activities.
What? He's a criminal?
He told you that he's a CEO, right? But if you look up the address of his supposed company, the only thing that comes up is a ramshackle hut. It's just a front.
What do you mean?
It's probably just the address of a shell company.
What's that?
It's a company that is registered as a legitimate business, but acts as a shield for other criminal dealings. Your dad is most likely involved in some criminal organization that uses that company to hide how they use their money. Or for money laundering. Your mom didn't want you to get involved in all that and ran away from him. Taking you with her, of course.
Well, that's not good. That means he's a bad guy, right?
I told you that your mom said he had two faces. He knows how to be nice and is good at winning people over. That way, he tricks everyone at first. But then when he reveals his true face, things get bad. What do you think? Does that sound about right? I've never met the guy, so I can't really say.
That sounds exactly like him. Even when he's laughing, if you look at his eyes, they're not. And he becomes really threatening when I don't want to give him money. I always feel that he might even resort to violence sometime.
I guess you did finally realize what his true self is. That's the kind of person your father is. You always were a troublemaker as well, so I guess you got it from him.
Don't compare me to someone like him. He never listens to what anyone says, and even if I bring up the police or anything like that, he still comes to my in-laws' house. At this rate, he's going to bleed us dry.
Well, he probably has a group of criminals behind him, so I doubt he cares that much about the police. I guess your luck ran out the moment you made contact with him.
Why didn't you tell me any of this before? Did you keep quiet on purpose?
Every time I tried to talk to you about him, you would tell me to shut it. Then you would say it has nothing to do with me. Don't push responsibility onto others.
But you never told me just how bad he was. If I had known this, I never would have wanted to meet him.
You didn't listen to me no matter what I tried to say to you. I warned you countless times. You made up some story in your head about what he was like and approached him of your own choice. You brought this onto yourself. So from now on, you better do your best to get along with him real nice.
Why would you say something like that when you know that I'm in such a bad spot? How could you be so cruel to your own daughter?
You're not my daughter anymore. Did you forget that already? That's what you wanted to happen. Any bonds we might have had as a parent and a child are gone. In the end, I'm just some random stranger that has no blood relation to you. In that case, I don't feel a single thing. I'm just a stranger after all.
Don't say that, and please help me! I know I said some cruel things, but I'm sorry about that.
I don't care what strangers say to me. It doesn't matter to me at all.
I just didn't know the truth of the situation. I never thought that my real dad would be such a scumbag. Now even my relationship with my in-laws is getting worse because of him. In the end, you're the only one I can rely on for help.
Things aren't going well with your in-laws either?
That's because of how my dad acts towards them. Ever since then, they've started to view me with contempt, saying that they wish their son hadn't married me and complaining about me every day.
Well, I'm not surprised since you brought such a burden onto them. Imagine their daughter-in-law's father barging into the house, demanding money from them. Anyone would be angry to have to deal with that.
But it's not my fault. I'm also a victim here.
It's true that it's not your fault that your dad is such a scumbag. But it's your fault that you went after him and dragged him into other people's lives. I warned you so many times, but you just ignored me. And on top of that, you made fun of me and your mother.
I'm really sorry about everything I said. I want to go back to how it was before. Will you let me move back in with you? I want to get a divorce, but I don't think I'm brave enough to do it on my own.
You want me to support you again? Give me a break. I'm done with raising children.
Even if it's just for a short time. Please? I finally realized that you were always the one who thought about and cared for me the most.
So, you get into trouble and you finally realize that and come to me for help? Isn't that convenient? I'm just some guy who wasn't able to become your dad. I'm not going to be used by you anymore. Don't come asking a stranger like me for help when you're in trouble. After that, Alice kept being followed by her father, and he kept demanding money from her. There were times when she felt in danger and called the police, but they didn't do anything or pay any attention to her. Even with her calling the police, her dad didn't let up and kept on hanging around asking for money. Once her in-laws found out that her father really was involved in criminal activities, her mother-in-law couldn't take it very well. She ended up in the hospital with stress-induced complications in her gut, leading to a very awkward situation for Alice. In the end, to try and get away from him, they all abandoned the house and moved somewhere else. Alice took the full blame for everything with her in-laws and husband constantly blaming her for bringing the situation about. Alice messaged me for help again and again, but each time I didn't change my stance and refused to help her. I feel bad for my deceased wife, but all the feelings that I had for Alice as my daughter have completely disappeared. In order for me to also completely cut any ties that I had with Alice, I sold the house where she had grown up, and am now living a peaceful life in a small house on my own. Although I used to feel sad whenever Alice would tell me that she didn't care about me or consider me her father, I don't feel even the slightest shred of loneliness now. If anything, I feel like a big weight has been lifted from my shoulders.